We are making our way through December, and I got to thinking about some Christmas horror movies, trying to plan what I'm going to watch this month. So I started thinking which ones are my favorite. That being said, join me today as I rank the top 5 Christmas horror movies of all time on this episode of Ranking Rumble. Welcome back to WWH. My name is Andrew Dreamer. Look, I'm just going to go ahead and admit something. I'm not a big fan of Christmas. It's not my favorite holiday, and there are some personal reasons behind that, but there are some horror movies set around the holiday that I do enjoy. They bring me joy, and I really want to focus on those today. Christmas horror movies can vary in subject from killer Santa to psychotic kids to a sorority stalker. The point is that there is a lot to choose from, and I like that. As always, I'm only including movies that I've actually seen, so you won't be seeing anything like Terrifier 3, Christmas Bloody Christmas, or It's a Wonderful Knife on here. But before we get going, let me know what your favorite Christmas horror movie is. It is bell time though, so grab your popcorn and make your way to your seat. Let's head down to the ring. Starting us off at number 5 is Dead End, released in 2003. It was written and directed by Jean-Baptiste Andrea and Fabrice Canepa. The plot centers on the Harrington family who, in an attempt to reach their in-laws' house on Christmas Eve, find themselves lost on a desolate road. As they drive deeper into the woods, they encounter a series of really bizarre events. The tension escalates when they begin to experience strange occurrences, including the appearance of a mysterious woman and the unsettling feeling that they are being watched. But here's the kicker though. This road never ends. It's just one long stretch of road that they can't get out of. There's a lot of claustrophobia and dread that permeates throughout the film. One of the film's notable aspects is its ability to create a sense of isolation and helplessness. The characters are trapped not only by the physical road, but by their own fears and secrets. As the night progresses, the family members start to turn on each other, revealing underlying tensions and unresolved issues. This psychological unraveling adds depth to the horror, making it not just about the external threats, but also about the internal struggles of the characters. And maybe that's why it has always stuck with me. With a runtime of 85 minutes, Dead End manages to maintain a tight pace. There's not a lot of downtime, and I really appreciate that about it. It's not drawn out just because they want a longer movie. It does what it needs to do, and it ends. This movie does not get talked about enough. I mean, the inclusion of Lin Shaye should be enough for anybody to go watch it just because of that. She's a powerhouse, and she can do no wrong in my eyes. And look, I'm not saying that this is the greatest movie ever made, but it's an interesting story that's got some creepy moments and a lot of depth. It's definitely worth checking out. By the way, don't forget to body slam that subscribe button so you never miss any of the heart-pounding, chill-inducing 5-star matches we have here at WWH. We're not just wrestling with horror. We're delivering it to your screen every week. Coming in at number 4 is Red Christmas from 2016. This Australian horror film blends the festive spirit of Christmas with the chilling elements of a slasher movie. Written and directed by Craig Anderson, the film runs for an hour and 22 minutes and has garnered a mixed reception from audiences and critics alike, which is due in part to its subject matter. It features a unique premise that revolves around a family gathering during the holiday season, which quickly turns into a nightmare scenario. The story follows Diane, played by America's Mom Dee Wallace, who invites her family to celebrate Christmas at her home. As the family comes together, tensions rise and old grievances surface. However, the festive atmosphere is shattered when a mysterious figure begins to stalk them, leading to a series of brutal murders. The film's premise intertwines themes of family dynamics and the horror genre, making it a notable entry in the Christmas horror subgenre, at least to me. The term mixed reviews gets thrown around a lot, but this film truly embodies that. Some viewers, like me, appreciate the film for its over-the-top slasher elements and the strong performances, particularly from Wallace, who brings depth to her character. Critics have noted that while the film has its moments of creativity, it suffers from issues such as sloppy editing and uneven direction, which detract from the overall experience. While I admit that these issues are present, it does not hurt the film too much in my opinion. Again, it's nothing spectacular, but I find it intriguing and thought-provoking. A lot of the conflict of this movie is centered around abortion, which is the subject matter that I was talking about earlier. But there's also a lot of campy holiday cheer and a lot of gore, so I'm here for it. Next up at number 3 is Better Watch Out, also from 2016. This is a film that cleverly blends elements of horror and comedy, creating a unique viewing experience that stands out during the holiday season. Directed by Chris Peckover, the movie is set in a suburban neighborhood and revolves around a seemingly typical babysitting scenario that quickly spirals into chaos. The film stars Olivia DeJonge as Ashley, the babysitter, and Levi Miller as the young boy she is watching, Luke. The plot kicks off with Ashley arriving at the home of the Lerner family to babysit Luke while his parents are out for the evening. Initially, the atmosphere is lighthearted, filled with a bit of playful banter. However, the tone shifts dramatically when a mysterious intruder begins to terrorize them. What unfolds is a twisted tale that subverts the typical home invasion narrative, drawing comparisons to classic films like Home Alone, but with a much darker twist. Better Watch Out is not just a straightforward horror film, it incorporates sharp wit and clever storytelling. The film's screenplay is filled with humor and unexpected turns, keeping you on the edge of your seat while also making you laugh. The performances, particularly by the young cast, are really strong, with their chemistry adding depth to the story. Visually, the film is well crafted, utilizing inventive cinematography to enhance the suspense and comedic elements. The Christmas setting, juxtaposed with the horror themes, creates a striking contrast that adds to the film's charm. This is a movie that I revisit every year now, and I will continue to do so. I actually have reviewed this movie before on the channel, so be sure to check that out if you haven't seen it already. Overall, Better Watch Out is regarded as a thrilling ride that successfully combines humor and horror, making it a memorable addition to the genre and a fun watch if you're just looking for something a little bit different during the Christmas season. Our number 2 entrant is going to be The Mean One from 2022. All right. Hear me out on this one. At the beginning of this video, I told you that I'm not a big fan of Christmas in general, but I am a fan of The Grinch. The original cartoon is a Christmas classic for sure, but the Jim Carrey version will always hold a special place in my life. That's the version that I like the best. When that film was released in 2001, my mom took me to see it in the theater, and to the best of my knowledge, that was the first time I ever went to see a movie in the theater. And that will always be special to me. It's always going to be right there at the forefront of my mind. But let's get back to The Mean One now. This film offers a unique twist on that classic Christmas story. Directed by Stephen LaMorte, the film is a sort of parody that draws inspiration from Dr. Seuss's beloved character, the Grinch. However, instead of a heartwarming story, it presents a darker narrative filled with slasher elements. The screenplay was crafted by Flip and Finn Kobler, who aimed to blend comedy and horror in a way that both entertains and frightens the audience. And while I'm not sure how frightening this movie is, it's a lot of fun. Set in a quaint mountain town, the plot revolves around a character named Cindy whose parents are brutally murdered, and her Christmas spirit is stolen by a sinister, bloodthirsty green figure. This figure, reminiscent of the Grinch, embodies a malevolent force that wreaks havoc during the holiday season. There are several clever Easter eggs and references to the original Dr. Seuss material. Despite its horror elements, The Mean One maintains a comedic tone. Okay, this is not a good movie. It's dumb and ridiculous with subpar acting and questionable CGI, but there's a certain charm that appeals to me. And I absolutely love this movie. I just can't help it. The Mean One is played by David Howard Thornton, who also plays Art the Clown. I think this was a perfect casting choice. If you decide to watch this movie, don't go into it expecting a technical masterpiece by any means. Just temper your expectations and enjoy the movie for what it is, a silly slasher take on a beloved children's story. Also, this is a million times better than Winnie the Pooh, Blood and Honey. For our number 1 entrant, we have Black Christmas from 1974. I mean, of course it was going to be this movie. This seminal horror film that has garnered a significant following over the years is often regarded as one of the earliest slasher films. Directed by Bob Clark, the film is set during the Christmas season and revolves around a group of sorority sisters who receive disturbing phone calls from a mysterious caller. The film's chilling atmosphere and innovative use of suspense have made it a classic, influencing many horror films that followed, including my favorite horror movie, Halloween. The plot centers on a group of college students who are preparing to celebrate the holiday in their sorority house. As they engage in typical festive activities, they begin to receive unsettling phone calls from an unknown caller, whose increasingly aggressive and threatening messages create a sense of dread. The tension escalates when one of the girls goes missing, prompting the others to realize that they may be in grave danger. The film cleverly plays with your expectations, using the holiday setting to juxtapose the warmth of Christmas with the horror that unfolds. One of the film's standout features is its cinematography, particularly the use of POV shots that place you in the perspective of the unseen killer. This not only heightens the suspense, but also adds a layer of psychological horror as you're left to imagine the true nature of the threat. The film's score, composed by Carl Zittrer, further enhances the eerie atmosphere with haunting melodies that just linger. Black Christmas is a landmark film in the horror genre, combining elements of mystery, suspense, and psychological horror. Its innovative techniques, strong performances, and chilling atmosphere have solidified its place in cinematic history, making it a must-watch for horror enthusiasts and a significant influence on subsequent films in the genre. And that is why Black Christmas is the best Christmas horror film of all time. But there you have it. Those are the top 5 Christmas horror movies of all time, according to me. Do you agree with my picks, or did I leave anything off? Let me know what your top 5 movies are down in the comments. Let's have a discussion as we get into the Christmas spirit. I look forward to hearing from you so we can compare rankings. If you're interested in Redcon One products, I have a discount code that you can use to save 20% off of your entire order. Be sure to check that out. You can also find all of my merchandise available at ProWrestlingTees.com/Andrew Dreamer or right under this video on the channel. Also, head over to WWH's Patreon page and consider joining us and becoming a member over there, or if you would like, you can become a member right here on YouTube. All of the links are in the description below. Don't forget to like this video and share the video and subscribe to the channel so you never miss any of the action here at WWH. Now that we've talked about the best Christmas horror movies, what are the best 90s slasher movies? Luckily, you can find out by watching the video that is appearing on your screen now. And remember, in the squared circle of horror, there are no countouts for nightmares. My name is Andrew Dreamer, and this is Wrestling with Horror.